Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Cubs Line Podcast. I'm Ryan Dunleavy,
I'm Ron Zolnski.
and today the Cubs won the series in Kansas City 10-2, highlighted by homers from Ian Happ and Miguel Amaya, and another great start from Matthew Boyd. Ryan, what were your takeaways from today's game in this series in Kansas City?
Well, today's game just an old-fashioned beatdown. I mean, boys were hot. Boyd pitched pretty unbelievable. It was a 10-2 game, but if this is a tight, very meaningful game, he pitched unbelievable. But yeah, just a good old-fashioned ass beating. And then this weekend, shouldn't have pitched to Caglione yesterday. Pretty bad loss, but took a good win on Friday, and I'm all good with taking 2 out of 3 here.
Yeah, 100%. I know the Royals have had a bad season, but they still got some players there. Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt. Seth Lugo's a solid pitcher. He threw well yesterday. Cubs really couldn't figure him out. But you'll take 2 out of 3. You're going to lose some games. 5.5 back in the division still. But an off day tomorrow, I believe Milwaukee plays, so you'll get that evened out for now. So we will talk about Friday's game first. We're gonna do a little series recap. We'll keep it pretty brief. Just go game by game. Cubs won 6-4 on Friday, highlighted by the debut of Kevin Gausman, Pete and Seiya with some RBIs and a Pedro Ramirez home run. So we'll get right into it. Pete struck out. Then Seiya lined out, Bregman walked, and then Bushy flew out. This was a bullpen day for the Royals. Bottom of the first, Jensen walked, Witt lined out, Caglione popped out. Salvi hit a single but deflected off Gosman. I was a little bit worried, but he was okay. And then Isaac Collins hit a double over PCA's head to make it 1-0. And then Nick Lofton popped out. Top of the second, Nico flew out, Happ struck out, Kelly with a single, Ramirez with a single, so runners on first and second. Dansby worked a 5-pitch walk, and then Pete hits a ground ball to Massey. Massey makes a nice stop, tries getting Pete out at first, but speed kills. Pete beats the throw. Kelly scored, Ramirez hustling scored, made it 2-1, and then Sale would follow that up by hitting a 2 RBI single, just a hard hit ball to the opposite field off of Cubs legend Jose Cuas to make it 4-1, and then Bregman flew out. Bottom of the second, Massey grounded out, Marte grounded out, then Tolbert flew out. Top of the third, Bushy with a leadoff single. Then Nico popped out, Happ struck out again, then Kelly popped out. Bottom of the third, Jensen struck out, Witt grounded out, Caglione hit a single, and then Perez flew out. Caglione had himself a series. Top of the fourth, Ramirez flew out, Dansby grounded out, Pete walked, then Seiya flew out. Bottom of the fourth, Collins grounded out, Lofton struck out, Massey grounded out. Top of the fifth, Bregman popped out, Bush hit a single, Nico lined out, and then Happ struck out again, third time on the night. Bottom of the fifth, Marte lined out, Tolbert struck out, and then Carter Jensen with a single that barely got out. Ball was only hit 96 miles an hour, 356. That ball does not get out at many stadiums, but got out at Kansas City to make it 4-2. His 16th home run of the year, and then Bobby Witt flew out. Top of the sixth, Kelly grounded out, Ramirez grounded out, and Dansby grounded out. Bottom of the sixth, Caglione grounded out, Perez flew out, and then Collins flew out. Top of the seventh, Pete walked, Seiya flew out, and then Bregman hit an RBI single on a line drive to center field to make it 5-2. Bushy walked, Nico flew out, and then Happ struck out his fourth time on the night. He was 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Bottom of the seventh, Lofton flew out, Massey grounded out, and then Marte struck out, and that would be it for Kevin Gausman. Very nice debut for him. And then top of the eighth, Carson Kelly grounded out, and then Pedro Ramirez hit his second big league home run from the left side, smoked this ball 100 miles an hour, 363 feet. Rammer's second big league homer, little insurance runs there, makes it 6-2. Dansby lined out, and then Pete lined out. Bottom of the sixth, Thielbar came in. Tolbert hit a double, and then Jensen struck out. Bobby Witt with an RBI single to make it 6-3. Caglione hit a double. Runners on second and third. Thornton came in, another rough outing for Thielbar. Salvi grounded out, but a run did come in to make it 6-4. And then Isaac Collins worked a walk, and then Nick Lofton flew out. So nice job there from Trent Thornton. Good damage control. Top of the ninth, Lucas Eric came in the game. Seiya hit a single, and then Braggy grounded into a double play. Bushy got hit by a pitch. Nico popped out. Bottom of the ninth, Webb came in for the save. Massey lined out. Rave struck out and Isbell struck out. Cubs go on to win this ball game 6-4. A little bit too close for my liking there with a 6-2 lead to 6-4. But job well done. Kevin Gausman debut. Rye, what were your thoughts on this opener on Friday?
Just a solid game, highlighted Kevin Gausman, his debut. Again, I was like you said, I was pretty worried about the comeback here, but he was all right, pitched a really good ball game. The Jensen homer, that's 356, pretty weak, but other than that, he was on point. So love to see that. The bats came in, Rammer with some good insurance late. Turned out to be pretty meaningful because it's, Thielbar kind of let the game slip a little bit there in the eighth. So those extra runs later in the game proved to be pretty useful. But good all around win here to kick off the series.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at the pitching. Ghazi gets his sixth win on the year, goes to 6-10. 1-0 as a Cub. He went 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were both earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run allowed. He's now at a 4.29 ERA. Thielbar came in for a third of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs. Both of them were earned, no walks, 1 strikeout. He's at a 5.3. I think Thielbar's days are coming to an end. I think they're probably going to DFA him when you get some of these guys back.
Yeah, it's just, it sucks to see him go, but it's the right decision. I mean, he's been close to a liability in the pretty much this entire season, and he's not turned it around. I thought he was going to turn it around, but he really hasn't. So tough to see him go, but I think it's time.
I mean, he had a great run last year, pitched some huge outs in the playoffs and just all season long, especially lefties. He was a tool, but I think his time's come to an end. Just he's getting older. Hitters are hitting him well. He doesn't throw the hardest, and if he's not going to locate, they're going to hit off him. Thornton came in for 2/3, walked one guy, no hits, no runs. He got a hold his third on the year. He's now at a 2.72 ERA. And then Jacob Webb came in for the save, his seventh on the year. 1 inning pitched, no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, 2.44 ERA. Cubs won this one 6-4, went to 68 and 49. And with a Milwaukee loss on Friday, they were only 4.5 back. That was the closest they've gotten in maybe 2 months. So, Ryan, do you want to talk about Saturday's game then?
Yeah, so Saturday, Cubs dropped this one 6-3. Jack Caglione, the absolute highlight. Top of the first, PCA fly out, Seo fouls out to right, and then Bushy grounds out. Bottom of the first inning, Clay Holmes on the mound for the Cubs. Jensen grounds out, Bobby Witt grounds out, and then Jack Caglione takes Clay Holmes 448 feet to deep center. Absolutely pounded this ball. Makes it 1-0 Kansas City. Collins grounds out, top of the second. Cubs go down 1-2-3. Happ and Horner with strikeouts. Bottom of the second inning, Massey with the leadoff single. Rave walks. Lofton hits a sac bunt. So second and third, Rojas with a single scores both Massey and Rave, making it 3-0 Kansas City. And then Isbell grounds into an inning-ending double play. Top of the third, Kelly leads off with a strikeout. Dansby grounds out, and then Tyrone Taylor singles. PCA draws a walk, and then Seiya flies out to end that threat. Bottom of the third inning, Bobby Witt reaches on a one-out infield single, and then Cags doubles into right field, makes it 4-0. Then Collins singles. Cags is held at third. Massey grounds into a fielder's choice. Cags got thrown out at home. Pretty close play here, I'm not going to lie. They didn't challenge it, but he looked to be safe. I'm very surprised they didn't challenge it. But Cubs get the out, stays 4-0, and then Rave grounds out to end the inning. Top of the fourth, Bushy leads off with a single. Bregman then grounds into a fielder's choice. He beats out the double play. Happer lines out, then Nico singles. So first and second, then Kelly doubles into the left center gap, scoring Nico and Bregman, makes it 4-2. So Cubs making a little bit of a comeback here. Bottom of the fourth, Rojas strikes out, or sorry, Lofton leads off with a walk. Rojas strikes out, and then Isbell grounds into an inning-ending double play. Top of the fifth, Cubs go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the fifth, Witt draws a one-out walk. Cags doubles to the left, so second and third, surprised by Witt didn't score. And then Collins pops out, Massey lines out, so Colin Ray able to get out of the threat. Top of the sixth inning, Bushy lines out, Breggy grounds out, and then Ian Happ hammers one into right center field, pulling the Cubs within one. Right here, I honestly thought the Cubs were going to come back and win this game. The pitching had held Kansas City pretty at pretty subpar since it was 4-0. Cubs were making a bit of a comeback here, so I was hoping that they were going to come back and win this game. Happ goes deep, 4-3. Then Nico grounds out to the pitcher to end the inning. Bottom of the sixth, Lofton doubles with one out. Rojas then pops out. Isbell flies out. Top of the second, Tyrone Taylor draws a two-out walk. PCA then walks, and then Saya strikes out with two on in the seventh. Bottom of the seventh, Jensen draws a leadoff walk. Violet flies out to right, and then on this one, I mean, guy was like I think 4 for 4 at the time, and you float an 87-mile-an-hour cutter over the middle of the plate. That's never a good idea. Jack Caglianone's second homer of the day goes 420 feet to center field, makes it 6-3, and I think was the nail in the coffin on this game. Ryan, I mean, did you kind of do you agree with me here that this pitch just can't be made?
Yeah, that was the worst pitch Colin Ray made all night, and the only real mistake that he made. He had a solid outing. A lot of times Colin Ray is better out of the bullpen, I believe. I think that's going to be his role the rest of the year if he can even stay up. But you cannot float a pitch into a guy that's as hot and with the power of Caglione. That's just a pitch that cannot be made in that situation.
Yeah, I agree. So 6-3 Kansas City, then Collins then lines out, Massey flies out. Top of the eighth, Breggy strikes out. Happ then Bush grounds out, Bregman strikes out, Happ doubles with two out, and then Nico flies out to center. Bottom of the eighth inning, Rave singles and then steals second. Lofton grounds out to the pitcher. Rojas grounds out to second. Rave gets to third, and then Isbell grounds out to end the inning. Top of the ninth inning, Nate Pearson, familiar face for Kansas City. Conforto comes in, doubles, then Dansby fouls out. Rammer strikes out, PCA strikes out. Cubs drop this ball game 6-3. Rod, what were your thoughts on this one?
I mean, this was a very winnable game. I'm not really mad at Clay Holmes. That was his first outing in a couple months, so definitely gonna have to get some of the dust off. But I mean, Colin Ray was solid. He made one mistake all night, and that was that hanging pitch to Jack Caglione. But besides that, he was good, and I liked kind of the strategy 4-4. We kind of talked about that on previous episodes. Obviously, you didn't win, but no one in your bullpen had to go. It was only Colin Ray, so a nice little off day for the rest of your bullpen. But this was a very winnable game. You got it to 4-3 versus a weak Kansas City bullpen and just couldn't come away. And I feel like this is going to be one that is going to haunt you because the Brewers did end up winning, and now you're 5.5 back. So, I mean, if you win this game, you're still 4.5 games back in the division. So, I mean, every game matters right now.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll take a look here at the Cubs pitching. Pretty slim. Clay Holmes gets the loss, drops to 4-5. He threw 4 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, or they were all earned 2 walks, a strikeout. He gave up that bomb to Caglione. He threw 70 pitches, 44 of them for strikes. His ERA now at a 2.86. A little bit of a smaller sample size though. And then Colin Ray, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They were all earned. 2 walks, no strikeouts, gave up the homer to Cags as well. He threw 63 pitches, 37 of them for strikes, so the exact same efficiency as Clay Holmes. He's now at a 4.59 ERA. So pretty slim here, and like you said about Clay Holmes, I mean his first major league outing since I think May 15th. Don't want to harp on him too much. Would have liked maybe a little bit better, but that's all right. We'll see how it goes as he makes more starts down the road.
Yeah, he'll start on next Friday against the Cardinals. Nice taste of that rivalry. So definitely gonna have to knock the dust off, but he'll be fine. So we'll talk about today's game. 10-2 win, just dominance from first pitch to last. PCA struck out, and then Bushy ripped a double. Nice day for Michael Bush today. Bregman singled, Happ with the infield single, and then Conforto with a sac fly made it 1-0. And then Nico grounded out. Bottom of the first, Lofton struck out. Bobby Witt popped out, and Caglione struck out. Top of the second, Dansby grounded out. Amaya struck out, and then Taylor lined out. Bottom of the second, Perez grounded out. Marte popped out. Massey grounded out. Top of the third, Pete struck out. Bushy with a single. Braggy flew out, Happer with the single, runners on first and second, and then Michael Conforto with a little blooper made it 2-0, and then Nico Horner with a single up the middle to make it 3-0. Dansby would then ground into a force out, still a 3-0 lead after two. You love to see after three, excuse me, love to see that. Tolbert then lined out, lovely play from Alex Bregman. Luke Maley flied out. Kyle Isbell walked, and then Lofton lined out. Top of the fourth, Amaya with the leadoff single, and then Tyrone Taylor tried laying down a bunt. They got the lead out at second, so Taylor was on first, and then Pete grounded into a force out, beat out the double play, and then Bushy with a single. So runners on first and second, and then Bregman continues the pattern. He's been really good with runners in scoring position this series. With a single down the line, makes it 4-0. And then Happ grounded out. Bottom of the fourth, Bobby Witt with a flyout. Caglione grounded out. Salvador Perez hit a single, and then Starling Marte with his second homer on the year. He crushed this ball 413 feet, 107 miles per hour off the bat to make it 4-2. The one mistake Matt Boyd really made all day, just kind of served this pitch up. It was a 2-2 changeup in. Marte just got a hold of this to make it 4-2. And then Michael Massey hit a triple. This was deflected by Conforto. Taylor made the play. Really weird play, but then Tolbert grounded out. So you got out of it with only two, which isn't terrible, but a 2-run game. Top of the fifth, Conforto grounded out. Nico walked and then stole a bag. We need to see more Nico stealing because he's one of the fastest guys, and he's a very smart baseball player and gets jumps. And if he can start running wild on these catchers, it's going to be huge. Then Dansby struck out and Amaya lined out. Bottom of the fifth, Maley hit a single. And then Isbell tried to lay down a bunt. Matt Boyd made a really nice grab on this bunt. Got the double play here. I mean, one of the best defenders in the game, I believe, from the pitching spot. Matt Boyd, huge play right there, turns two, and then Lofton grounded out. Top of the sixth inning, Easton McGee came in. Tyrone Taylor struck out. Pete walked. Bushy grounded out, and then Breggy with a little bloop single to make it 5-2. Another RBI for Bregman. Then Ian Happ would come up and smoke a home run. This ball smoked 401 feet, 100 miles an hour off the bat. Ian Happ's 20th home run in the year to make it 7-2. Back-to-back nights with homers for Ian Happ. Then Conforto would strike out. Bottom of the sixth, Bobby Witt walked. Caglione flew out, and then Bobby Witt got caught stealing. Boyd picked him off. Great move. And then Perez grounded out. Top of the seventh, Nico with a leadoff single down the right field line. Dansby walked, and Miguel Amaya would smoke a home run, his fourth on the year, 388 feet, 101 miles an hour to make it 10-2. Nice to see that slug from Miggy, just a nail in the coffin there. Then Tyrone Taylor grounded out, Pete with a double, and then Bushy flew out. Breggy struck out bottom of the seventh. Marte grounded out. Massey hit a single. Tolbert walked. Maley struck out. And then Isbell lined out. That'd be it for Matty Boyd. Top of the eighth, Happ struck out Conforto with a single. Ramirez came in to hit for Nico. This one was obviously a blowout, so they put Ramirez in. He actually played a little bit of first base today. That's good utility to have. He lined out. And then Dansby with the single. Amaya struck out. Bottom of the eighth inning, Zeph came in the game. He hasn't gotten work in a little while. Struck out Lofton, struck out Bobby Witt. Cags hit a single, a little infield single. And then Perez grounded out. Really good stuff from Zeph today. Top of the ninth inning, Tyrone Taylor with a single. Pete grounded into a force out. Triantos got an opportunity to hit. He flew out, and then Bregman flew out. Bottom of the ninth inning. It was pretty cool seeing Rammer play a little first base. Good to have that versatility. Javier Assad came in the game, worked a 4-pitch inning, ground out, fly out, fly out. Cubs fly the W in Kansas City, win the series, take 2 out of 3. Rye, what were your thoughts on today's ball game?
I mean, like I said earlier in the episode, just old-fashioned ass beating. Obviously, it wasn't like straight from the jump, but gradually. I mean, each inning just tacking on the runs. I mean, they showed a stat. I think 10 of when Bregman hit the single, it was like 10 of the 13 runs in the series have been scored with 2 outs. I mean, that's how you win ball games right there. But yeah, great all around win. Boyd pitched, amazing, and it was, yeah. I mean, just a great all around win today.
Yeah, so now I'll take a look at the pitching. Matt Boyd goes to 8-1 on the year, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them were earned, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run allowed. In his last 7 games, he is 5-0 with a 2.35 ERA. He's been unreal as of late. He's been the Cubs' ace, and that's probably who you're giving the ball to game one of the playoffs as of right now. Zeph comes in, goes 1 inning, 1 hit allowed, no walks, no strikeouts, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Now to 3.64 ERA. Assad comes in, works a quick 4 pitch inning, 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. He's at a 3.54 ERA. So player of the game today could go to a lot of guys. Michael Bush and Ian Happ both with 3 hit games. Alex Bregman with a 3 hit game too. I'm gonna go Ian Happ because he's been struggling big time. He really needed these past 2 days.
Yeah, I love that pick, and I should show everybody the text you've been sending me about Ian Happ. I know you love Ian Happ.
I'm not a big Ian Happ guy if you can't tell. I don't care that he had a good series. He's hitting 202 in his last 30 games and just brutally played. So, I mean, even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. So,
I'm going Bregman though. We harp on him a lot. He had a good series, a good game today.
yeah. So, I kind of was thinking here. We talk about this a lot, but reality's coming soon. You got Edward Cabrera coming back. You got Daniel Palencia coming back. You got Hobie Milner coming back, and you have Shelby Miller coming back. Those are 4 spots. Who do you think is going to get sent down with those 4 spots? Assuming Shelby Miller will come up, which I think he will.
Okay, so you're gonna have to free up a spot in the rotate. Or Cabrera bullpen, you think, or you think he gets in the rotation?
I think he's bullpen until David Peterson struggles.
Okay, so Field Bar's one is obvious that you take out.
Yeah.
Um, Two is probably,
I'm going to go with Colin Ray.
you think? Yeah, he's
Assad's been
been.
better than him, and just have him go start in Iowa and stay ready. Because who knows, maybe you'll need a start later in the year. And if you clinch playoffs early and you're not playing for anything, Colin Ray's a great guy to throw out there. So
Mhm.
obviously keep his length, but you probably send him down to Iowa. So that's 2.
Trent Thornton three.
That one's tough for me, man. If I'm going to be honest, he's been up and down, but the guy's a 2.87 ERA. Like,
Is he
he's been
really? Oh shoot!
2.72, excuse me. Like, he's
I thought it was high threes. Man, I must have been thinking about someone else.
I like Thornton's a bubble for me, if I'm going to be honest,
The
because
problem with Thornton is like
your
he's
rotation is Boyd, Gosman, Holmes, Imanaga, Peterson. Until Peterson's bad, Cabrera probably takes that spot. Zephyr Hahn obviously earns a spot. Jacob Webb, Ryan
Jacob Webb's got a spot. I feel like Rolison has a spot.
Ralston definitely has a spot. Those are like my 3 ones. And then obviously you're going to have Palencia, Milner, Cabrera. That's 6. Do we want to go Shelby Miller?
But what about like Steele and Ben Brown?
Then you're not like we're not even thinking about that. And Riley Martin too, like how much of a dog he was earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Like
like
we're not thinking about Steele, we're not thinking about Ben Brown, but I'm just talking about in like the next week because Shelby Miller's
yeah.
pitching in Iowa. Palencia's done with his rehab, I think. Milner's done with his, and Cabrera's done with his. So they're probably all rejoining the team in Washington. So you got to free up 3 spots. I think if you got to do that right now, I think
Bar,
Thielbar,
Ray,
Ray, and
Thornton.
then
I'm
either
telling you, Thornton.
Thornton, Assad, or Savali.
Oh, honestly, do you think they will go Safali? I feel like Assad is safe right now.
I would go Savali because you really don't need 2 length guys. You only really need one.
Yeah, and Assad. Yeah, I agree. So I
I
think
mean,
they go
Aaron
Savali.
Savali hasn't gotten a lot of work either. I would keep Thornton for now. Like, obviously, if Ben Brown or Steele comes back, you're taking them. But for now, probably Savali, Thielbar, Ray, Assad stays, and then you go Milner, Cabrera, obviously out of the bullpen, and then Danny P.
In my opinion, like when Steele comes back, like he's got a roster spot.
I mean, just the way he is in the clubhouse too, like that's their leader.
Yeah.
So I think Steele 100% should be a part of the playoff roster and just the roster down the stretch.
Yeah, has there been any new news about him? Because I know he was throwing. Um, a little bit back, but do they have an estimation yet? I haven't seen anything.
If I want to be honest, I think there's a good chance he doesn't pitch in the bigs, but
Uh,
I couldn't tell you. He'll definitely be in the clubhouse and everything, and because they let even if you're not on the playoff roster, all the guys are still there. You got a big dugout crew, so he'll
yeah.
definitely be there. But I don't know if he'll be on the playoff roster necessarily.
Gosh, I remember when they thought he was going to come back and like remember like it was like yeah, he'll be back in June.
Yeah, I
And
feel
he's
terrible for the guy.
yeah.
So for my next question, I mean, we've seen a lot of different lineup combinations. Like, what does your day-to-day lineup look like as of right now? Because we've seen a lot of different stuff as far as Taylor, Ramirez, Happ.
Uh in my opinion, so I'll give you this. Happen left, PCA in center, Seiya in right, Bushy, Nico, Dansby, Bregman. Right now Carson Kelly and then Rammer's my DH.
For me, if you're facing off against a right-handed pitcher, you go with Happ in left, PCA in center, Um, Seiya and right. Your infield's obviously set in stone, and then Kelly's catching. And then I would go versus a righty. I like Ramirez more than I like Conforto. So
I
I would
agree.
go Ramirez, but Conforto, I like him more off the bench because Ramirez isn't as great of a pinch hitter as Conforto is.
Hmm.
So I would factor that in, and I would go Ramirez. And then versus righties, or excuse me, versus lefties, I'm going Tyrone Taylor on left because Happ cannot hit a left-handed pitcher. Like he's hitting like 190 against lefties on the year. So I would go Tyrone Taylor because that's supposedly his specialty. And if you want to pinch hit Ian Happ later in the game, if a righty comes in, you can do that. And
Yeah.
if Ian Happ wants to complain and moan about it, like who cares? He's gone after this year anyways. So Taylor's in left for me, and then everything else is the same, and I'm having Rammer DH. And then your bench is Hap, Conforto, Triantos, and Amaya. So I think Ramirez is every day from here on out, and you're switching between Hap and Taylor and left, and Conforto is a bench bat. Triantos is a defensive substitution and a pinch runner. Then you're switching off between Amaya and Kelly behind the dish.
Yeah, I think we agree completely there.
And then for September call ups, like I know we still got time, but I think Kevin
I mean, we
Alcantara.
only have a couple. Can you? I mean, we only have a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think I would probably still go Kevin Alcantara and maybe a pitcher just to have. You can call back up a guy like Thielbar if he figures the stuff out, or that could be used as Ben Brown or Justin Steele's spot or Riley Martin. But I think Kevin Alcantara has definitely earned it.
Yeah, I agree. Kevin Alcantara, and then you'd like a pitcher just to have,
Like a
have
Braxton
that.
Garrett, a guy that
Yeah,
can.
yeah. Braxton Garrett have someone down there he can throw. If he can throw.
Yeah, Garrett was up on Thursday, but got sent down the next day. Just probably more to have him in case you needed him out of the pen.
Yeah,
Yeah, so now we'll look at this upcoming series. The Cubs have a well needed off day after I think like 17 days straight of baseball. That's like unheard of. So
yeah,
huge off day, which you love to see. So they'll fly to Washington, get a nice off day, and then Tuesday, game one of the series, they play at 5:45 Central. Washington doesn't have their starters right now on MLB.com, so I'm gonna rotate to ESPN really quick because sometimes MLB just doesn't post it.
ESPN is just more like who's like projected and in line.
Yes, MLB is like the official.
Yeah,
So Tuesday, 5:45 start. Shota Imanaga, who's 8-9 with a 3.6 ERA, versus Jake Irvin, who's 2-5 with a 5.37 ERA. And then Wednesday, another 5:45 start. David Peterson for the Cubs, who's 6-7 on the year with a 5.35 ERA. And then on the mound for the Nationals, I'm pumped, baby. Miles Michaelis, who is 3-9 on the year with a 5.89 ERA. I mean, the guy's just walking batting practice. That's a win on Wednesday. And then Thursday, a little bit of an earlier start, 3:05. On the mound for the Cubs is Kevin Gausman, who's 6-10 with a 4.29 ERA. And then on the mound for the Nationals is Cade Cavalli, who's 9-5 with a 3.57 ERA. So pretty solid. But You got two lefties on the mound, and then Gosman. Nationals are not a very good team, so I think this should be a sweep. In my opinion, just the way the Cubs are playing in a well-needed off day, I think this should be a sweep.
Well, I don't know. The Nationals, I mean, this is the two best offenses in baseball right now. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Cubs are going to take 2 out of 3. Would not be surprised with a sweep, but I feel like you're downplaying it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're going for a sweep here, but something
Yeah.
kind of funny that I looked at, the schedule for the White Sox is Peterson, Gosman, Holmes. So you're seeing three guys the White Sox have never seen from the Cubs at least. So I think that'll be fun. You got your three new guys going versus the Sox.
Yeah, that is wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, and then you got Holmes, Boyd, and Managa scheduled versus St. Louis, and then I mean you got a pretty not favorable, but like 500 teams between the Nationals and the Cardinals. Cardinals do always play you hard every time, but this stretch between this next 6 games, I think you got to take 4 out of 6 at the bare minimum.
So you got to go 4-2, 100%, because then what? The White Sox open up next week, right?
Yes,
So I mean, you want to take 2 out of 3 there. Who knows what's going to happen? And then like I know the Brewers are looming and some other teams. So this is a very important 6 game stretch here. You got to at least take 2 out of 3 from both, so you can at least be 4-2. But I think 5-1 is definitely a possibility.
100%, maybe even 6-0. But the Brewers have a very tough stretch coming up. They have San Diego, LA, Seattle, the Braves. You got to play the two other best teams in the NL between LA and Atlanta. Seattle's always tough. They're gonna have to face some good pitchers there. And then when you play the Dodgers, listen to this lineup that they're facing. This is brutal. Game 1, Roki Sasaki. Game 2, Yamamoto. Game 3, Robleski. Game 4, Skubal. Like, that is going to be pure hell.
I mean,
Um,
now's the time to go and gain some games. Like if you can get, I mean, just think, like if I would have told you like a month ago that the Cubs would have like a legitimate chance to be like 2.5 games back before they even play the Brewers once, like I feel like you would have called me crazy.
I mean, listen to the stretch of who the Brewers have to face. Casey Mize, Walker Bueller, Robbie Ray, Roki Sasaki, Yashibu Yamamoto, Justin Robleski, Tariq Skubal, Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert. I mean, how many all-stars and just awards between those guys. Like this is going to be a tough stretch for this Brewers team. And the Cubs are playing the Nationals and the Cardinals, two teams sitting around 500. Like this is huge time to make up games if you're ever going to.
Yeah, I mean, in classic Brewers fashion, they're probably gonna go like 9-2,
And here's the
but
thing, you still got 7 games versus the Brewers.
well, that's what
Like,
I'm saying is just get to like 3.5 or 2 or 3.5, 3 back before you play them once, and I think this division is ours to win.
yeah, I agree with that. 3, 4, 5. So you're probably gonna. There's a chance you don't see Mizorowski that 4 game series, so that would be huge. But I think this is a very favorable run for the Cubs, especially the teams the Brewers are playing, and they're on a 6 man rotation right now. So you're only seeing Mizorowski once every 6 days. So I don't know what they're doing there. If I'm gonna be completely honest, because I would like to adapt a 5 man with Mizorowski, because then you're having that guy throw every 5 days. Now you're on a 6 man rotation with Mizorowski. Like
Well, I
I
mean, you don't know. Like, they could have more stats to where like he's better off, after this amount of days rest and this amount. Like, you just don't know. But I
mean,
agree with
it
you though.
wasn't good today. Gave up three
Yeah,
runs against a weak Twins team.
yeah.
But yeah, so now we will take a look around the MLB. We'll do a little standings update too. But another thing I want to talk about, the Dodgers are playing bad baseball, but as much as I hate the Dodgers, they need to start winning. Because I want them, if it's not the Cubs, I hope the Dodgers win the NL. So then the Cubs can
What?
play. Because I don't want to have to play them in
Wait, do you mean like to get the 1 seed or to go to the World Series?
to get the 1 seed.
Oh, I thought
Because
you
I
meant
would
I thought you meant
rather
like win the pennant. I was like, what the hell are
no,
you talking about?
no, not at all. I'm saying if the Cubs do not win the NL Central and Milwaukee takes first and then Atlanta takes that, like I would rather play Milwaukee out of Atlanta in LA, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah,
But
because if we get the 4, it would be us versus, let's say, Philly. We win, and we would play the 1, right?
no, the two. Because we played the Brewers last year and they were the two.
I thought the 4-5. No, it's no the 4-5 winner plays the one seed. The Brewers got the one seed last year.
Oh, they did. You're right. I'm
Yeah,
wrong on that, but so
yeah.
as
So
right
we
now,
so we need them to keep losing.
we do need them to keep losing. But right now, the Dodgers are playing in a wild card series. Imagine a Dodgers Phillies wild card series.
Oh, that would be cinema. And then Cubs Diamondbacks bringing up the rear.
Yeah, I would like that a lot. And then the Cubs win, you got Milwaukee after that, so I would love that.
We need our get back.
We do need our get back. So Milwaukee's leading the NL with 74 wins. Atlanta's in second with 71, and then the Dodgers are in third with 70. The Cubs are 7 games up on the wild card. Then Arizona and Philly are tied for that last spot, and San Diego is only a game back. Like a couple weeks ago, they were like below 500, thinking about selling, but they've been on a heater as of late. And this is a team that would not shock me at all if they got in the playoffs, and they would be scary, especially with the best closer in baseball and Adrian Morishon and Jason Adam, one of the best bullpens in the league. And trust me, that was not an easy series last year.
No, not at all. That was yeah. I mean, it was a dogfight.
So I think that's a team that can definitely get in, and that's kind of crazy to think there'll be a team that gets bumped out between Arizona, Philly, and San Diego. Because unless the Cubs go on some crazy losing streak, which I hope doesn't happen, they're in good hands right now.
I mean, it's gonna be very hard for this Cubs team to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, and Miami's only 3 games back. St. Louis is 3.5 back. Washington's 4.5 back. Pittsburgh's 5.5 back, which is so funny how they bought at the deadline and now they're 5.5 back. And Cincy's 6 games back, and then in the AL, the Rays hold the 1 seed with 71 wins. The White Sox hold the 2nd seed with 61 wins. Then the Astros hold the 3rd seed with 60 wins. And then the Yankees are 8 games up in the wild card. Boston is 6.5 up. And then Texas is a game up in that last spot. Detroit's a game back. Minnesota's a game and a half back. Cleveland's a game and a half back. Baltimore's 2 games back. Seattle's 3.5 back, and Toronto's 3.5 back. So that's anyone's spot for that last wild card spot in the AL. But scores from today: the Athletics won the series versus the Red Sox. First Red Sox series loss in a long time. Max Muncy with the winning hit in this one. Aroldis Chapman blew it late, which is not like Aroldis Chapman. The White Sox beat the Guardians 5-3. Colson Montgomery with a 3-run shot. The Nationals beat the Reds 7-1. Good day offensively for the Nats. The Mets beat the Pirates 11-1. Bo Bichette with a 5-hit game, and Sean Manaea shoved. The Phillies beat the Blue Jays 7-6. Kyle Schwarber with 2 home runs and a walk-off win from the Phillies. The Braves beat the Yankees 2-1. Michael Harris with a big RBI in that one. They would win that one in extras. The Marlins beat the Angels 12-3. The Marlins bats erupted in the 5th inning with a 6-run 5th inning to win this one 12-3. The Brewers beat the Twins 4-3 on a walk-off from Jake Bowers. And then the Cardinals beat the Rockies 7-4. The Orioles beat the Rangers 10-5. Pete Alonso, 2 homers in that one. The Tigers beat the Giants 3-1. Zach McKinstry with a big knock in that one. Um, the D-backs beat the Dodgers 4-2. Erod with a big start and a big day offensively for Ketel Martes. Justin Robleski's been getting shelled as of late. Then the Rays beat the Mariners 4-1, and the Padres beat the Astros 7-2 on Sunday Night Baseball as they hit 4 home runs in that one. So now we'll play MLB Pickle. Rye, who do you want to start with?
Let's go, Bregman.
Alex Bregman. He's been hitting the ball very well as of late. So we'll wait for my thing to load. Of course, it wants to be slow. All right, Alex Bregman. All right, NL righty USA. Ooh, let's go with. I know he's a lefty, but go Scooble. See if we can get the division. All right, NL West righty USA. Ooh,
I mean,
let's
go
think.
like
I'm gonna go with Jake McCarthy. I know he's a lefty, but see if we get the team from the Rockies. All right, on Colorado, righty USA.
Goodman.
Goodman, that's a good guess. Goodman. And that is your MLB Pickle Player of the Day, Hunter Goodman. Nice guess, Rye.
Come on.
So now we'll
Oh,
play some immaculate grid. All right, San Diego and the Mets, Juan Soto. Ooh. San Diego and Seattle. I feel like this is an easy one, but I can't put a name.
ooh.
All right, Mets Gold Glove, Lindor.
Mm.
Never? Wow.
Lindor never won a Gold Glove.
That's insane to me. 200 strikeout season on the Padres, Dylan Cease. 200 strikeout season on the Phillies, Zach Wheeler.
Oh, Roy Halladay.
Or actually, I could go Zach Wheeler for Mets and Phillies.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
And then Gold Glove 200K.
Roy Halladay, Gold Glove with 200K strikeouts. Ooh.
200K strikeouts, 200,000 strikeouts.
No, 200 strikeouts in the season. That's on me. I'm
Okay.
gonna, I'm gonna throw up one here. Nolan Ryan. Nope. Ooh,
The Gold Glove pitchers like always trip me.
it does. This is tough. I'm just trying to think like the best pitchers. I can go Greg
Yeah.
Maddux, maybe. Greg Maddux has one. There we go. Seattle Gold Glove. Ichiro. Yep. And then Gold Glove for the Mets. I'll skip that one for now. Do we know any Phillies and Seattle or Seattle and San Diego? Don't.
Brain's freezing right now.
Yeah, we'll see the most popular. Ricky Henderson for San Diego and Seattle. Jamie Moyer for Phillies and Seattle. David Wright for Mets Gold Glove. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode of the Cubs Line podcast. No podcast coming out tomorrow with the off day, but we'll be back with you guys on Tuesday. Signing off, Ryan Dunleavy.
Brad Zelinsky.
See you guys next episode.